Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 3 of my Clockwork Empires Alpha 45 playthrough. So we're picking up this colony right where we left it off last time, and we had only just gotten started at that point. So we can see the colonists gathering resources and working on projects. However, the very first thing I need to attend to. Last episode, I asked people who wanted to be inserted into the game for their names. And so I got a few. I am going to get on that right now. So, let's see. Who do I want? Well, one of the commenters, it's always difficult talking about people's names on the internet. So, the owner of the Robust Theory channel, who, by the way, is worth checking out as well. He also does Clockwork Empire stuff, as well as other strategy, colony building type games. He wanted to take over a colonist and have him named Bran Griff. So I am going to give him the position of Ruddigore Goldenton. He is our only military man right now. Oops. I just messed that up. Let me try that again. There we go. There's no cursor. That's why I couldn't see what I was doing. So, I don't know if Bran Griff is Robust Theory's actual human name or not, or just a name he wanted. Oops. Here we go. Alright, this is now Bran Griff's 160th Regiment of Foot. I assume that's been truncated. It's like foot soldiers or something. Alright. Now, we didn't specifically request it from this playthrough, but from the previous playthrough, I have another viewer by the name of Yaroslav Przynkovsky. I am going to give you... Let's give you someone interesting. Nah, boring. Oh, Crispin Woodwick. Crispin Woodwick is strange. He might get up to weird culty things. Alright. Yaroslav. There's Yaroslav. You can see me fumbling with the interface here. Przecinkowski. There we go. Yaroslav. And viewer Hydunia wants specifically to take over Prunella Stalvern, because she is all kinds of wacky. She is doomed and spiritually inclined and morbid. Now, the name fields have a first and last name, so I can't, I don't have another name, so we're going to leave her with her existing name. Hydunia. There we go. Hydunia Stalvern. Okay. So I renamed some of the colonists. Now then, if the concept tickles your fancy and you feel inclined, please leave me a message and I'll do my best to insert your names in the current playthrough, preferentially giving names to overseers, since they seem to see the most interesting action. And yeah, we can follow along their adventures, and hopefully Bran Griff doesn't die in the first wave of bandit attacks, or Hydunia doesn't go crazy when someone digs up like a mysterious relic. Alright, I'll notice the kitchen has just completed its first oven, which means I really need to assign someone to get cooking. Let's get cooking. Leopold Thatchlock. Ooh. The morbid laudanum fiend. let's actually give the kitchen to Plitherwick Milchalk. Oh, I have reports of an unidentified group approaching the colony. I'm actually going to disable hauling for the kitchen crew. Now that crew has been assigned to the kitchen, I want to get them started on cooking. But a little bit of chilies and some fungus. There we go. We'll go with 10 basic food, standing order there. There's no real reason for me to break down the food orders into these specific dishes. If I just queued up the 10 common foods, 10 basic food orders, they would have also turned the fungus and the chilies into basic food. But it does help me keep a better track of what sort of foods I have in stock if I can see at a glance that I've got crates of orange fungus in the stockpile, as well as a pile of basic stew. Basic stew also, or basic food, also consists of cooked raw beetle steak and cooked bird. So we're doing okay for food, but we could certainly be doing better. Now I'll note I do have the raw ingredients for coconut curry, because each coconut curry requires one basket of chilies and 1 crate of coconuts. But because it takes 2 ingredients to make this one thing, it's actually not really efficient to do so. I mean, cooked food will satisfy hunger better than raw food, it is true, but I can make cooked food out of the chilies at a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 basket for 1 crate, and the coconuts themselves can be used as part of basic food, also at a ratio of 1-to-1. So really, this is only half as efficient, and at present, there's no real reason to make coconut curry. That I imagine that will be balanced in future. I mean, there's no reason in putting in an obviously suboptimal choice, as no one will ever choose it. Now the kitchen's pretty small. I didn't build it very big because obviously the bigger you build it, the longer it takes to build, and the more, in this case, stone and wood it takes to build. Oh, bandits! 3 bandits in a nearby camp. Shoot to kill. However, I will know fish persons. How am I going to deal with fish people? You know what? I'm just going to ignore that they exist. I didn't see any fish people. Those are just silly rumors. Oh yes, as I was saying, the kitchen could have been larger, and in fact, if I was going to make it a kitchen brewery, because those 2 workshops have now been combined into 1. It used to be that the brewery was its own workshop, but now all the functions of the brewery and modules thereof have been thrown in with the kitchen. If I'd intended to do any brewing in the kitchen, I should have made it bigger, with more space to accommodate like the brewing tank and the still and stuff. Oh, what's this? Yeah, not going to call in a favor yet. I have, however, been sent a new overseer. That is good. Oh, and people just streaming into the colony. Do I need more workers? So I'm going to get 2, and I could spend 3 prestige to search with the possibility of earning more. I'm going to save that prestige, actually. Back to brewing. If I was going to start brewing very early, then what I would do, I would have considered making the kitchen bigger so I could fit more brewing modules in there. But I'm not going to do that. And when the time comes, I'm going to build another kitchen and just use it as my brewery. Okay. So I've got... Oh, I'm very short on stone, actually, although the timber is good. So I'm going to queue up these rocks for quarrying. And the next thing I should consider building is maybe some housing. Granted, that's actually not possible right now. So the thing about housing is that it's a place to put your beds. However, beds require bolts of cloth, of which I have 0. For those of you who weren't watching previous episode, I actually started this playthrough with the Dauntless Dare loadout, which consists only of overseers and laborers, and no supplies of any kind. So in any other starting configuration, I would have bolts of cloth with which to make beds. In this case, I have none. And I must grow my own cloth, which means actually now's a good time. I am going to set up a smaller field. This is going to be my utility field. For now, it will grow my flax, which I will eventually spin at a textile workshop into cloth. I'm going to put Leopold Thatchlock here. He will be the farmer of this field. So it's going to grow flax, which I'll spin into cloth, with which I will make my beds. When I have enough flax, or when maybe even after the first flax crop comes in, I might consider switching it to, depending what the needs of the colony are, I might switch it to a food crop like maize or chili, or I might switch it to something like opium if I have enough food and I want to set up, I want to grow some drugs for my colonists. Now Leopold is not farming for some reason, and in fact he's idle. You have a job to do, Leopold. As do you, Amos, who is a worker under Leopold. Ah, okay. There we go. I suppose... So we've got a carpentry, we've got a kitchen. No point in building a textile workshop until I've got a flax crop and some bundles of flax ready to go. I could set up a ceramics workshop and start making bricks. What I suspect I may need soon, though, is more military strength. So I'm actually going to build a barracks next. So the barracks will allow a colony to increase its military strength. It doesn't have to be very big, because there are no vital modules inside a barracks. When I'm doing a bit better for resources, I think I will show off some of the module mechanics. So each workshop, divided into each workshop's menu filter, is as the specific workshop's vital modules, as well as a selection of decor that can be placed in it. However, that is only a small subset of the total decor selection, and any decor can be placed in any building. And I've got an alert from the colonists. Oh, they want a chapel. Specifically, Zachary Squeers has been leading the demands for a chapel. So, I have two ways to respond to this. I can promise to build them a chapel, which will keep them happy, but only for a short time, or I can refuse to build a chapel. I intend to build a chapel. I'm going to promise them one for now. I don't believe I actually can, though. Chapel requires more bricks. There's a reason to build a ceramics workshop. So as my third building, I've begun building the barracks this time, specifically so that I can start training up some soldiers, even though I don't have the materials to give them all guns. Still, it's good to have military backing. I should probably also start on that ceramics workshop. Guess I'll put it over here. Keep it small for now. There we go, and this is actually the vital module of Ceramics Workshop is actually the kiln, with which you fire clay into bricks. I'm going to put two of them in here for now. And a colonist has decided to research his genealogy. That is fine. So, we've had, I've got a lot of stuff to keep my colonists busy for quite a long time. Building these two buildings is going to consume a lot of time and resources. I'm going to have to carefully manage food, as well as quarrying stone, and sooner or later I'm going to have to find a source of timber, because these coconut trees can't actually be cut down for timber. These black ones, the tropical broadleaf trees, make they produce a lot of timber, whereas these brown ones, the palms, they don't produce coconuts and they don't produce a lot of wood. They produce a little bit of usable wood. So wood is scarcer in the tropical biome than it is in the temperate biome. That's something you need to consider. That makes those two starting areas different. Oh, the results are in. Felix Brazenson has discovered the Gindiad pendlecotter is a distant relative. What that generally means is that the two colonists will become friends. Look at So everyone hangs about and stops working at the end of the day. And this is when they would try to sleep, except, of course, I've got no beds. But we can see in the bottom right here, they spend a whole lot of time gossiping. And as they get acquainted with each other, they become friends, or sometimes they become enemies. So, that's the colony thus far. I'm going to keep this relatively brief. I've got the 3 names in. If anyone's interested in inserting themselves into this game, just leave me a message. I'm going to try and keep this episode short-ish, so I'm going to cut it off here. Again, this is Alpha 45 of Clockwork Empires. It's a game in early access, so it's in development. Not everything's in. Things still need to be polished and balanced, but I think it's going in a good direction. I do these about once a month, a playthrough of between 4 and 5 episodes, typically. The first episode of which is always me going over the new stuff. So the patch notes, things that have been added, things that have been fixed. Clockwork Empires is being developed by Gaslamp Games, and you can find it on Steam. They've got their own webpage and forums, which are actually quite lively. If this looks like the sort of thing you might be interested, feel free to check out my other videos or the videos of several other people who also do this kind of thing. Otherwise, I hope this has been informative. I'll be continuing this series for at least a few more episodes. Thanks very much, and have a good one.